Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dean Kelley with the Georgia Transparency Coalition, and today we're in the home of MARC VEAZEY, who is a candidate for the Board of Commissioners, District 2 here in Walker County. As most of you know, Georgia, or Walker County rather, is transitioning from a sole commissioner to a Board of Commissioners with a primary in May and the general election in November. This will be the first time that Walker County has had a Board of Commissioners since before World War II. So this is an important milestone in Walker County, and it's important that everyone gets to know the candidates as much as possible. And today we're visiting with MARC VEAZEY. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and answer some questions. Mark, thank you so much for letting us in your home.
Thanks, Dean. It's my pleasure to have you here and the opportunity to talk to the folks.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful, wonderful home.
Oh, thank you very much.
But if you would, for those that don't know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself and, and all that.
Absolutely. I grew up in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is northeast of Atlanta. All my family is from this area. My grandfather was Norm VEAZEY, was the ring announcer for Chattanooga Wrestling for many years. My dad, Doug VEAZEY, was an All-American from Rossville High School, graduated from there. My mom went to City High School in Chattanooga. So I have deep roots here. I did not grow up here, but I chose to move here. I was a special agent with the FBI for 25 years. I retired in 2013, but in my last years with the Bureau, we chose to move back here because we loved this area. I wanted to put my youngest in Gordon Lee schools and Chickamauga City schools. He graduated from Gordon Lee High School. That's what we wanted to do, and we chose to come back here. As I said, I was an FBI agent for 25 years. I was stationed all over the world. I worked public corruption, most of my career, white-collar crime. But I also worked violent crime. I was the case agent on the Teresa Parker case. So I had an opportunity to do quite a bit of things within the Bureau. I worked overseas in the Middle East. I was the FBI's liaison for the government of in the UAE and Abu Dhabi during the Gulf War in 2003, trading intelligence with my partners with the United Arab Emirates there. So I've had an awful lot of experience in building partnerships with foreign governments, with county governments, with police officers, you name it, throughout my career. I'm currently the Director of Corporate Investigations for Unum Insurance Company in Chattanooga. We love this area, and this is where we retire, and this is where we plan on spending the rest of our lives.
Fantastic. That's a heck of a resume.
No, thank you.
Well, just tell us generally what were your reasons that led you to make the decision to decide to run for this District 2 commission seat?
Sure. So most of my working life has been in government service with the FBI. And I just have a heart for the way government operates. I've been a senior executive in most of the positions that I've held. Prior to the Bureau, I was Vice President of Operations for a large wholesale record distribution center. I was a senior executive in the FBI, and now I'm an executive at Unum. So I bring that to the front. And I have a real heart for this area. I love Walker County. I love this area. I love the people here. Having lived all over the world, I've seen a lot of different areas. But this is home. This is where my heart is. When I heard that we were going away from a sole commissioner to a Board of Commissioners, I was extremely excited. Now, while a sole commissioner can be beneficial because you have not as many layers of bureaucracy, for lack of a better term, it also can have problems. I think that the Board of Commissioners is going to give us a couple of different things. It's going to give us more people who are accountable for the things that we do. It's going to give more eyes, ears, and brains on whatever issues come up. It's going to allow the individual citizens to have more individuals to talk to so that there's going to be more community engagement. Those are the things that drew me into wanting to run for this. This is the first time I've ever run for a political office. I could not do that while I was in the FBI. And when this opportunity came up, I just couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that was some of the big arguments that I had some people back when this was being debated. And of course, the biggest argument, or the biggest legitimate argument for sole commissioner, in my opinion, was that of expediency. They can move faster and get things done quicker. but the lack of transparency and oversight and accountability, I felt like overweighed the issues of expediency. So I'm excited about this move to a board of commissioners, and I know most people in this county are. After all, it did pass with an overwhelming majority of 80% of the vote. So this is definitely what the citizens of Walker County have decided that they want. What do you see as the pressing issues for Walker County, and for that matter for District 2?
Sure. We'll start with Walker County. Walker County currently is coming out of a significant financial issues, debt of approximately $70 million or so, lots of different financial issues. That hampers progress within the county. It hampers our ability to maintain our infrastructure, all types of things. We've had to make cuts in personnel and all of that. And so I know that Shannon has made strides in that, but that is something that is near and dear to my heart. One of the things that I would like to see us do is have a committee of management and budget that would incorporate the individuals on the board and others if needed, that would look at the budget and the operations of the different departments within the county and hold them to a results-based strategy. And what this would do is ensure that a department, their funding is based on their results and not who's there, not who they know, not who yells the loudest, but strictly on the data that's provided on what they're doing as it results through their strategic plan. And that's something I think is very important, that we base our budget and the operations of the county on results. The individuals within the citizens in this county deserve to know exactly what's going on with their government. We need what I would call measurability transparency. And what that means is that we can be able to stand up in front of the citizens and say, this is the decision we made, this is why we made it, this is the results of it, and this is where the funding and your money as a taxpayer is going. That's transparency, and that's what I believe in. There are three pillars that I run on. It's integrity and governance, fiscal responsibility, and community engagement. And those three things are what my platform is. But within that, I base my leadership style on three things. First, it's an attention to detail. An attention to detail means that we don't just bluff over things. We don't just say, oh, that'll be okay. We take a look at it and say, is this the right thing? And why are we doing this? And then, in addition to that, an attention to detail means that you're engaged with the community enough to be able to say, what's going on? What are the issues? And what can we do about it? And is this something that we can do something about? And the second part of that, from an attention to detail, is a sense of urgency. You have to have a sense of urgency in government. I've seen it in law enforcement. If you allow a problem to fester, it gets more difficult to get rid of it. A sense of urgency means I see a problem and we do something about it. We don't just let it lie. We at least address it in some manner that we can. And then lastly is accountability. And that's what, Dean, what you were talking about. Accountability. We own our decisions. But what accountability does is it puts a spotlight on the decision-making process so that I can stand before the citizens and say, this is why I made this decision, this is what we did with it, this is why we did it. So that it's not done in a back room, and it's not done in a hidden manner. It's done with transparency and accountability. And those are the things that I'm running on. Those are the things that concern me.
Fantastic. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but while you're talking, a question just popped in my mind. One of the issues that I'm hearing behind the scenes from other people in government is the budgeting process that Shannon's dealing with the other constitutional officers.
Right.
As we move to this new government, what type of budgeting mechanism should we use? Should we go to a zero-based budgeting and move from there, or what would you recommend, or would you have to wait till you got in there and see how things run?
Well, I think probably the better answer would be to wait until I got in there. However, I will say this. I am a fiscally responsible individual. I do not believe in debt if you can help it. I believe in paying your bills on time and doing the right thing with the money that you've been provided. Not living above your means. And I do that in my home, And I would press that from a county perspective. In addition, I don't believe a county should be in business. I think that a county should be for business. And let me explain what I mean. When a county is in business, you may not be an expert in that business, which may lead to missteps in running that. In addition, many times when a county, and I'm not saying this county, but in general, when counties are in business, it has a perception of underhandedness, that you're doing something behind the scenes because it's county run and county owned. You don't know who's using the equipment. You don't know who's using the land and what the purpose is. It's not something I think that's clear. So I don't believe that a county should be in business, but I believe that a county should be for business. We need to ensure that we have an environment for business, that we are reaching out to other businesses, that we are going to other municipalities and seeing how they're doing it. We should not believe that we have all the answers. We don't. You know, we should be traveling to other counties and other cities. I listened to the mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma today give a presentation. He talked about how he came in and restructured his budget. He didn't do it because of what he thought of. He went to Louisville, Kentucky. He went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He went to Minneapolis, Minnesota to look at the way they were doing things and then took those ideas and molded them into what would work best for him. Those are the things that I believe that we should be doing from a budget standpoint. I did say earlier, and I stand by it, that I think we should have a committee of budget and management, or management and budget, because that's going to be completely different. We've had a sole commissioner who puts together the budget and brings that forth. That's not going to be the way this is going to be. The Board of Commissioners are not going to be rubber stamps. They're not going to be yes men. That's just the way it's going to be. They're going to have a say in the way the money is spent so that I can go back to my district and say, this is the decision that I made and this is the decision that board made, so that it's transparent, and I'm accountable for the decisions that we made.
Fantastic. Another issue I want to talk to you about, because it's brought up to me on a fairly regular basis, is that one of the criticisms of the Board of Commissioners is that each representative or each commissioner is going to be primarily focused on their own district and not as the county as a whole. And Walker County is a large county. I guess it takes an hour to drive from one end of it to the other. What would be your strategies or what, any comments you'd like to make as far as the importance of all the commissioners being able to work together?
Sure. One of the things that I have had the opportunity to do was talk to commissioners currently on the Board of Commissioners in both Catoosa County and Dade County to pick their brain of how they work. Both of the individuals I talked to said that very same thing. One of the things that they've run into is drama. I am not a drama person. I am a big sandbox player. In my career, both pre-Bureau and during the Bureau and post-Bureau, I am a partnership builder. I know how to work with others, and I know how to lead. I think that one of the things that is incumbent upon this first board is to step in the right direction, working together. While we do represent individual districts, we also are part of a team that represents the entire county. And that's what we have to keep in mind. We should be hanging our sign saying no drama in this meeting, and that's all there is to it. Now, it's going to take maturity, it's going to take experience, and it's going to take a little time for everybody to kind of find their way. But I think that we can do this as long as we pledge to ourselves, our citizens, and each other that we're not there for drama. We're there to work for the citizens of Walker County, and then to represent and listen to and bring forward the issues that each individual districts have.
Fantastic. One more question I want to ask you. We'll go and we'll probably wrap up here. Of course, it's not your district directly, but it is part of Walker County. I want to talk about Rossville, the Rossville district for an area. That is it's been a lot of focus has been on Rossville as of late for economic issues and financial issues and all that. And of course, they have some issues around the Wilson Road area. And the reason I'm bringing it up is this issue of these private tax districts that Shannon has used on Lookout Mountain for the project up there at McNamore, formerly Canyon Ridge. How do you feel about setting up these special tax districts? Is that a tool that you think can be used, or are you concerned about it possibly being abused, or should we look at using the T-Splosh and the Splosh funds before we look at doing that?
I am a fan of the SPOS funds. I'm always leery of setting up special districts or special anything. A lot of times what that will do is one little area, because they yell louder or they're a squeaky wheel or whatever it is, may get more than others. Now, I don't know enough about this issue to be able to speak completely about it, but I do know this. A T-SPLOS issue affects all of the citizens of the county. And that gives buy-in to all of the citizens. And whether they pass it or not, they have an opportunity to do that. Other than that, when things are set up individually without buy-in from the citizens, I'm always leery of that. You know, Rossville has a big place in my heart. So my dad is an All-American from Rossville. My grandparents worked at Peerless Mill. My dad has a scrapbook he went to school at Rossville from 54 to 56. And won 2 state championships and all of that. And his scrapbooks are amazing, showing how Rossville was. I know the individuals there want to get back to that. And here's what it's going to take. It's going to take a partnership between the citizens, the city of Rossville, the Walker County, the state of Georgia, any federal grants that can be obtained, anything that we can do. Rossville is in a perfect position because of its juxtaposition to the interstate, its juxtaposition to Catoosa County and Fort O, the bleed over that could come from there. The opportunities that are there are amazing. I think with good governance and with a little bit of luck, we can do some really good things there. And we can do that in all of our districts. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take buy-in from the citizens. It's going to take my 3 things of integrity and governance, fiscal responsibility, and community engagement. With those things, we can set a path for the future of Walker County.
Fantastic. Good answer. Well, that's going to do it for this evening. We've been visiting with MARC VEAZEY, who is a candidate for the District 2 of the Walker County Board of Commissioners. Again, the primary is in May, but I'm sure you'll be hearing more from him in the very near future. And us as well, as we try to bring more videos to you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.